this goes into two parts, folks, I do apologize for that. Hold on for a sec. Like I was saying, before I got interrupted there, if this goes into two parts, I do apologize. Um, because mainly, well, one, I have my unlimited time back, hopefully here on YouTube, but this shouldn't take too long to talk about. You know, I'm one of those people that, I talked about understanding why certain book series get turned into movies. I understand that. I also understand certain other things. But what I don't understand and I talk about is sometimes, well, I'm not the only one that talks about this. And that's controversy. You see, there's a controversy brewing right now. Now, I've talked about this before, saying whether or not this movie should have been given the NC-17 rating, which honestly, in my opinion, it should have gotten. But I could understand and respect the fact that you want to give it a more wide world appeal, more of a mainstream attraction, if you will. So I talked about that, and I know others have talked about it. I've also talked about something that's been making news rounds, and I guess you could say this is a bit of a continuation on top of something else I found out about it. Now, I talked about the fact that the Sacramento West Wind Drive-In, and this has been reported all over. You can Google West Wind Drive-In, 50 Shades of Grey, and you will see that from not just here in California, but all over, from Washington, D.C. to Fox News to Oregon, almost nationwide, people are talking about the fact that 50 Shades of Grey, 50 Shades of Grey is being shown at the same time certain family-oriented movies are. Now, one could be upset and understand why, 50 Shades of Grey would be shown at a certain time frame during early evening and primetime hours, as people are coming out of a go-kart racing complex with their families over President's Day, Valentine's Day weekend. We can understand families, parents, young adults, kids could be upset about that. And it doesn't matter whether you move it to another screen or not. Somehow, some way, people are still going to catch a glimpse of it, and they're still going to be upset. But then to top that all off, West Wind apparently is not just one, but a multitude of drive-in theaters around the Northern California, Central California region. In Sacramento, San Jose, Concord, you name it. West Wind apparently has several drive-in theaters. And I know that those drive-in theaters here in Northern and Central California aren't the only ones. I know there are drive-in theaters in Southern California that are showing 50 Shades of Grey. I know that there are theaters all over the country, drive-in theaters all over the country that are doing the same thing, showing 50 Shades of Grey on the big screen in public view for everybody to see. So it's one thing for families to come out of a go-kart racing complex and see that. It's one thing for people to drive along a highway like Highway 50 and see that, along with their kids. But it's another thing for a drive-in theater, seemingly with just two movies, apparently, in Concord. Two movies screens, if you will. Maybe more, I'm not really sure. But apparently 2 movie screens, or more, depending, maybe a few movie screens. I don't really know. I have to look at the the thing. But it's one thing, like I said, for families to be upset about what I've mentioned before, but it's another for families to be totally upset and totally just miffed, if you will, with anger that when they go and take their kids to go see a movie like SpongeBob, Sponge Out of Water, at the same time the kids are trying to watch SpongeBob and they're trying to watch it with them, right next door is 50 Shades of Grey. That's a little too convenient. And especially on top of that, if you have a little play area for the kids to go to while they're waiting for the movie to start or while they're waiting to keep busy, it's another thing for 50 Shades of Grey to be shown right in that proximity. Imagine you have your little kid playing in the monkey bars or whatever they have in those play areas, and imagine them turning around going, "Mommy, what is that? There's a woman that's naked." And she turns around, all of a sudden, oh my God. Imagine their reaction. Imagine your reaction. I'm an uncle, and the thing is, I don't think this is right. You know, one of the people that KCRA, NBC station KCRA here in the Central Valley interviewed, one person said that this movie, and I think I've said this before. I think I said this in the last video. This is a movie that needs to be shown indoors, in movie theaters, not drive-in theaters. I mean, I understand some people are saying drive-ins are a dying art, that there are not many around. And it's true, not many are, but they're still out there. But it doesn't mean a drive-in theater is the best option to show a film like 50 Shades of Grey. And if you're going to show it, do it appropriately. I think the West Wind manager in Sacramento said, "Oh, by the way, we're going to not only put it to another, move it onto another screen far from people's viewing, but also we're going to start it up at 9:30 at midnight or whatever." You know what? Maybe drive-in managers, owners should think about that. Maybe they should realize, yeah, we want 50 Shades of Grey. It'll give us great publicity. It'll give us some great financial success. But as good as that might sound, maybe you should think this. Maybe you should go, yeah, let's get 50 Shades of Grey, but let's do it smart. Let's market it smart. Let's do it the right way. Let's show it the correct way. Let's show it after hours. Let's show it towards the late night evening when kids are done watching SpongeBob, done watching Strange Magic and all that. Let's save it till those are done and finished showing, and then we show 50 Shades. It's just stupid, you know? And it's not just Sacramento and Concord. It's other West Wind drive-in theaters here in Northern and Central California that are probably facing the same controversy. They are. They are facing the same controversy. And it doesn't matter if your drive-in has 1, 2, 3, 4, 10, 6 screens. Doesn't matter. Unless you plan it right, unless you know the appropriate time to air something like that, or show something like that, drive-in theaters are not the best places for a movie like 50 Shades of Grey. They're not. They are not. And especially when they're viewing, public viewing, in the view of the public. I mean, Highway 4, according to KTVU, is right up, goes right past the West Wind Concord drive-in. Imagine people driving with their kids and the son saying, and one son saying, turn around and go, "Hey, Daddy, look at that." And his dad just does a double take, almost gets in an accident. Or kind of pulls to the side and goes like, "Oh my God." Now I know some people will say, like I mentioned in the other video, it's not the theater's fault, it's the parents. Parents should be more responsible. That's true, parents do need to have responsibility, but it's also the people that run the place. It's their responsibility, especially if you're going to show a movie alongside a kid family movie like SpongeBob. And look, I'm not the biggest SpongeBob fan. In fact, sometimes I think what SpongeBob does is stupid, but that's just my opinion. And, maybe the movie's better than I thought, and maybe it'll be enjoyable to watch down the road. But the point is, you do not show in public view 50 Shades of Grey and SpongeBob at the same time. Because what happens? Well, apparently, according to one mother, she had to take her kids away from the theaters, and they were crying. They were devastated. Devastated, in other words, they were tears coming down, all because someone running that place was irresponsible. And I know it's not just the Concord and Sacramento and Northern Central California drive-ins, West Wind or not, that are taking the fire for this, taking the heat for this. There are a lot of drive-ins around the country, if not the world, that are taking heat for this. But you know what? It's not just them. See, 50 Shades of Grey, as financially successful as it is, and as controversial as it is, sometimes, and I'm not trying to bash the movie at all, I understand fans want to visually see this book become reality. I get that. Anybody that is a fan of a book wants to see it become reality. It's like with Transformers. We want to see this become reality, and it has. I know this is a strange comparison, but we always like to see it become reality on the big screen, and several times. 5 times, including 4 times, and including the animated movie of 1986, they've all made it a reality. They've all made it a reality, folks, and that's a fact. But the thing is, there's a difference between Transformers, which is a toy-oriented franchise, and a BDSM movie. See, Transformers has caused controversy because some people may like or not like what Michael Bay has done. The movie in 1986 caused controversy because people didn't like Optimus Prime dying. But those are just several things that got rectified. That are slowly getting rectified. One got rectified in the damn series in the 3rd season. That led into the 4th season. But you get my drift. So those sort of things can be rectified and fixed. What 50 Shades of Grey does cannot be fixed and cannot be rectified. And here's why. Because right now, it's being shown as we speak across the world and around this nation. You have people in, I think it was Glasgow, Scotland or something. It was Glasgow, UK, in the United Kingdom. You had one movie theater, you had one cleaning staff at the movie theater have to clean up blood after one of the movie showings. Blood. And why? Because apparently several ladies, if not one, got upset because one guy, apparently there probably with his wife, was telling them, keep it down, quiet down, we're trying to enjoy the movie. And what does he get for his troubles? Glass bottle over the head. By someone that probably had one too many. And according to the report, she did. She was drunk. So, one could understand that 50 Shades of Grey is such a phenomenon right now that it's going to be a financial success no matter what, right? Okay, fine. But it's another thing to go and do the things that it's done to cause a lot of controversy. And believe it or not, I know that Eric Bischoff in his book, I think I got it buried in here somewhere, but I know Eric Bischoff in his book he entitled Controversy Creates Cash. Yeah, that's a true saying here. But you know what? This controversy is not just going to create cash and financial success for 50 Shades of Grey. No, in the long run, it's going to hurt the franchise. It is. Because you got 2 more sequels to make in the movies. Fine, whatever. But guess what? in the end, it's going to financially hurt this franchise. It's going to kill its reputation. And I'm not saying that because I want to see it happen. If anything, I want any book franchise that could get turned into a movie or is popular enough to get a movie, maybe a television series. Hey, I want it to succeed. I do. I want the person that created these franchises to succeed, to be financially successful. But it's one thing to be financially successful, and it's another to create controversy that's going to harm your franchise in the long run. It is. It's it's like basically saying, and I said this in the first video. It's like you're basically saying through 50 Shades of Grey that adult erotic movies that get shown late at night in the after hours on Showtime, Cinemax, TMC, the movie channel, even HBO, that this kind of stuff's okay to see publicly during certain hours. It's not. It's not. And especially at a drive-in theater, it's not a good thing. And especially when one of your staff, if not several staff members at your drive-in theaters, at your concession stands, agree with the freaking public that what you're doing by airing this movie is wrong. I hope and pray, just like anybody else, whether you're a fan of this franchise or you're not, or you just feel it wasn't necessary for a movie to be made about it, or you do, but you feel it should have been done the right way. I hope and pray, along with those people, that when the next movie comes out, and this is supposed to be even worse, it's called 50 Shades of Grey Darker. I, for one, hope the MPAA does the right thing and gives that one an NC-17 rating, as well as makes the decision that it can only be seen in indoor movie theaters and not at drive-ins. Because the last thing we need is more controversy. And if 50 Shades of Grey Darker, or 50 Shades Darker, is probably 5 times, 10 times more erotic than this, who knows? I haven't read the book. My niece has. Well, she's read the first one. I don't know about the second one. But if it's supposed to be more erotic, more BSDM, I can only hope and pray that the movie distributor, whether it's Universal or someone new, gets their act together and says, you know what, this needs, along with the MPAA, and gives it an NC-17 rating, as well as says, we are banning it from being shown in drive-in theaters, and it can only be shown in indoor movie theaters. And on top of that, and this is just my opinion, shown during after hours. I mean, 7 o'clock, fine, for an indoor movie theater. But during the day, whatever, no. No way. And look, I can understand and respect people wanting to see these movies become a success. I can understand and respect people being fans of these movies, wanting to visually see their favorite characters come to life on the big screen. I can understand and respect that. But certain movies do not belong at drive-in theaters. Certain movies do not cause people to bash other people over the heads with bottles. Not saying there haven't been movies that have caused reactions and all that. I'm not saying that. Believe me, we've seen in the past year that movie theaters are not the safest places, and that sometimes certain movies can cause things to happen and we wouldn't expect it to happen. But you know, it just, It surprises me that some people just don't learn. You know, like I said in the last video, when my parents took me and my sisters to go see La Bamba, I was more interested in seeing Masters of the Universe on the other screen at the Union City Drive-In. Yeah, I saw La Bamba, but I was more interested in turning my head around in our Toyota and seeing Masters of the Universe. That's what I was interested in. I wasn't interested in seeing La Bamba because I was what was I? See, I was about 8 years old at the time, maybe 7, going on 8, and I wasn't interested in that. No, I was more interested in Masters of the Universe. I was, and you see, there's a difference there, and that difference is I knew what I wanted to see. I knew what I wanted to see, and I knew it was appropriate for me to see. Yeah, it was PG rated, but it was still appropriate, and it was based on something that I loved, that I grew up watching. I wasn't interested in La Bamba until I learned more about it, and became a fan of it, and respected the movie, and the person it's based off. But still, the point is, at 7 years old, 7, 8 years old, you're not interested in that. You're interested in He-Man. You're interested in Transformers. You're interested in G.I. Joe. And that was the benefit about drive-ins. Even if you couldn't hear the movie, you could still see it, and maybe barely hear what was coming out of the speakers hanging out of people's windows, or hanging on people's windows. You could hear it. But nowadays, like I said at the beginning, drive-in theaters, yeah, they're a dying art. Don't get me wrong. They are a dying art. But it's one thing to show SpongeBob on one screen, and it's another at the same time to show, even minutes before, to show 50 Shades of freaking Grey. And again, I know these drive-in theaters here in California are not the only ones. I know there are drive-in theaters around the country, if not the world, that are facing the same heat, facing the same controversy. And if I'm Universal Pictures, or whoever picks up the distributing rights for the next 2 movies based on this franchise, if I'm these people, and if I'm the Motion Picture Association of America, the MPAA, I do what's right. I give the movie an NC-17 rating. I ban it from being seen in drive-in theaters, no matter how much money they want to give us to show it, to allow them to show it. I ban it from drive-in theater play, and I make sure the hours that it's shown in actual movie theaters is during the 7 o'clock to closing hours. Maybe extend the closing hours maybe by an hour or 2, just so people could see it going into the next day. You know what I mean? But still, I would not allow drive-in theaters to have the sequels at all. I would not allow the movie to have an R rating at all. It should be NC-17, and it should be aired and started to be shown around the 7 o'clock, maybe even 8 o'clock hours at the regular movie theaters. Not during the time when people want to go see a family-friendly movie with their kids. You know, maybe people should be thankful that right now, Inside Out is not being shown. Because I guarantee you this, if Inside Out got shown at the same time 50 Shades of Grey is, I'll tell you, one group of people that would not be happy is Disney. And Disney would be pissed off. Believe me. You don't think Nickelodeon, Viacom, Paramount's not pissed off right now? Oh, hell yeah, they're pissed off. Because they know, because you don't think word's getting to them about what's going on at this Concord drive-in? Oh yeah, it is. It's getting to them. It's getting to them. And I'm sure every other drive-in that's probably doing a similar showing or not, it's getting to them. And I know they're pissed. I know they're upset. Yeah, controversy creates cash, fine. Guess what? Like I said, in the end, it's going to create more harm for that franchise, with all due respect, than it's doing right now. Yeah, you could look back on it and say, hey, it was the highest grossing R-rated movie of all time. Highest grossing rated R-rated movie, a highest grossing movie in February, or one of the highest grossing movies in 2015, if not one of the highest grossing films of all time. Yeah, you could say all that. But guess what? Guess what? In the end, when it's all said and done, it's going to create more harm than good. So I hope and pray the MPAA, Universal Pictures, or whoever picks up the distributing rights, because I got a feeling Universal may second guess the decision to buy the rights to this book series. I hope they make the right choice. Give it an NC-17 rating. Make sure drive-in theaters do not get their hands on it, no matter how much money they spill out to get it, so they can show it. I hope they ban drive-ins from getting it. And I hope they choose appropriate hours, like 7, maybe 8 o'clock at night, to show it at the movie theaters. Because I'm telling you this right now, this shouldn't be happening. I understand drive-in theaters are a dying art, but you know what? You're going to kill it even faster doing crap like this. And you know, I could just imagine what every retail store like mine is going to have to go through when this movie comes out to Blu-ray, DVD. The precautions we're going to have to take when this movie hits shelves. I mean, I could just see. Let me see it. I could just see. Now, this is Justice League. Let's okay, hold on. Maybe not a good time. Okay. This is the movie Lucy. Now imagine this is 50 Shades of Grey. It's gonna be hard for us. Now, this is out for anybody to buy. That's why I bought it. I bought it because I want to see it. I think Scarlett Johansson's a good actress. But still, imagine this being 50 Shades of Grey, and it's right there in front of public display for everybody to see. Now, you know what's going to happen? You know the precautions my job, Target, Kmart, Kohl's, JCPenney's, Macy's, the malls are going to have to do? You know the precautions they're going to have to make? They're going to have to put it under the shelves, along with all the other DVDs, Blu-rays, and games. Or wait, or keep it in the back. I guarantee you there's not going to be no public display of that movie out in public for people to see. No. Because I guarantee you that happens. You're going to have a lot of mothers, grandmothers,